How do you live with your choices? How do you stay happy and proud of what you're doing, even if maybe you made the wrong choice? Well, that is what we are discussing today in this video. So, my name is Abbi J. I'm a life coach and a public speaker, and welcome to my channel, AJ Life Hacks. I'm really excited you're here because this is number 4 of my 4-part video series on happiness. And I think that this one of how to be happy in your choices is truly like the icing on the cake, because all of us are making choices 24/7, whether we realize it or not, and it's our choices that we make every single day that either contribute to our happiness or completely leave us miserable and wondering where our life went. So let's go over the 3 tips that I have for you so that you can make sure that you constantly are choosing happiness and that you can live by your choices. So let's get going on these tips. My first tip for you is to do your part. Now, this can mean so many different things. If you're making a huge life decision where to live, who to marry, what to study in school, all those things, you have quite a bit of time. And so doing your part at that time means researching and figuring out everything that you can do. Sometimes doing your part is as simple as, you know what, this is what I believe to be the best choice at the moment, and you take that split second to think about it before you act, before you send an email or a text or say something. You take that moment to just breathe and make sure you want to put almost your stamp of approval on it. Because I get life choices, we make them all the time and we can't always stop to think about them, but we can always do our part. Whether that's, living a life that's committing to our best self, and so we trust ourselves to make these great choices, or actually doing research and figuring out the best solution for us. So make sure that you are doing your part when it comes to your choices. My second tip for you is to trust your gut. Now, some people say you trust your heart, you trust your head, you trust your gut. To me, it's all the same thing. It's where you trust that first intuition, that first feeling of, I think that this is the right choice, and have the courage to do so. Because so many times our gut reaction is truly where our heart is. It's where we, on a subconscious level, agree with what's happening, or we have this intuition that that's going to be the best chance for us. And I say, go for it. Trust your gut. Trust who you are. Nobody knows you better than yourself. So make sure that you have the courage and that you are listening to yourself to take those moments when you can trust your gut and just go forward with faith. And my third tip for you is my absolute favorite tip in this whole video, and that is to realize that there's always a plan B. Now, yeah, that might seem a little weird in a video about making great choices and how to increase your happiness with the choices that you do make, but realize that no matter what you do in life, there is always a way to fix it. There's always a way to make something better. There's always a way to turn a bad situation into something great. There's always a way to go back, to try again. And I get sometimes you have to get creative with that. Sometimes you feel like, no, there's no way to go back, or there's no way to make it perfect the way it was. And that might be true. There's definitely some things where we can't go back like it never happened, but there's always hope. There's always a plan B. There's a plan C, D, E, F, G. There's a million opportunities out there for you. So one thing about happiness in your choices is knowing that, hey, I have hope and faith that even if I make the wrong choice, despite doing my part and trusting my gut, that I'll figure this out somehow. And I believe in myself, and I believe that God is good and will help me through this. And so that is huge to increasing your happiness, because you're not so petrified with this idea that you are going to make a wrong choice, but that you can live your life and try to live your best life and know that there's always a plan B. I think the reason I love this tip is I relate to it so much. I would write in my journal about the age 16 to about 21. I had this sheet in my journal that I'd take it out and I wrote plan A, and it was to graduate with an English degree, marry this certain young man I was dating, and then I'd written out 5 things with plan A of what, if my life went to plan, this was going to happen. And then I crossed that off when things didn't work out for that plan, and I wrote plan B, and it was different degree and like who I was gonna marry and blah 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 and all this stuff. And no joke, I am not lying, I am on plan N at this point. And that's okay. Even though I was going for and making choices to work towards those plans, that there was always another plan for me, and it was God's ultimate plan for me. But in my like finite mind and understanding, I felt like, oh, am I making wrong choices? But there was so much joy in the journey because I knew, hey, I can refine, I can change. And honestly, I don't want those plans anymore. I want the plan I'm on right now. And I wouldn't be as happy as I am if I was given plan A, because I have really discovered what I want through trial and error. So you probably know more about me than you ever wanted to with all my life plans, but I hope that these tips helped you, because there's a reason I left this video for the end, because happiness in yourself, which was my first video, is really the catalyst for like taking charge of the happiness in your life. And then my second tip was, how to be happy with your life right now, because we all want the future to be better, but we need to learn to appreciate the right now. And then, of course, my third video on relationships was huge, because relationships make up our life, but it is our choices where we truly can define our happiness, and we truly can take ownership, because nobody can force you to choose something. It has to be your decision, and you really can take ownership. So I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to take ownership of your happiness through your choices, through yourself, through your life, through your relationships. Now, I want to thank you so much for watching these videos and being on this series with me. If you happen to miss any of the other videos, I'll be sure to link them and put them up on the videos to the side here for you to watch. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a video from me. I think that's all I got, so I will see you in the next video. Abbi J out.